Good evening and welcome to the July 22nd, 2025 regular meeting of the Jackson Township Council. Pursuant to the provisions of New Jersey. Sorry about that. Good evening and welcome to the July 22nd, 2025 regular meeting of Jackson Township Council. Pursuant to the provisions of New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act, adequate notice of this meeting was properly provided by transmitting the notice of the meeting on January 28th, 2025 for publication. Notice of this meeting of the Township Council has been posted in the corridor of the municipal building and in the office of the municipal clerk. We'll begin with roll call. Councilman Borelli.
Here.
Councilman Bressi.
Here.
Councilman Palmieri.
Present.
Council Vice President Bernstein.
Here.
Council President Kuhn.
Here.
Also present this evening is Business Administrator Mr. Phillips, Township Attorney Mr. McGuckin, and myself, Deputy Clerk Jen Corelli. We will begin with opening comments from Township Council, starting with Council President Kuhn.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First, good evening to everyone. I would like to extend a warm thank you to our guest speakers tonight, Commissioner Frank Sadeghi and Ocean County Engineer Mr. Mark Jenke. We appreciate you joining us and looking forward to hearing more about the current and future projects happening throughout our town. We'd commit to moving Jackson forward, and part of that includes actively pursuing grant funding to support improvements across multiple areas of the community. We've expanded these efforts alongside with the professionals at Collier's Engineer, and I'm proud to say that we now have police, fire, EMS, recreation through DPW, and our township engineer all working together to maximize grant opportunities. We are even exploring new ideas like solar lighting for public spaces. This is the type of forward thinking we need to keep moving Jackson forward in the right direction. Last week, our new recreation committee held our first meeting. We already identified a park to start with, Camp Joy, and we are brainstorming creative ways to enhance recreational spaces for everyone. We'll be doing a second site visiting this Friday, and I'm excited to keep the momentum going. We'll keep you all informed as these projects move along. I'm also thrilled to share that the process of the township donating land to the Jackson Food Pantry is officially underway. The parcels have been identified and have been approved by our mayor, Mike Reyna, and our business administrator. And the conversations with the food pantry leadership have been overwhelmingly positive. This is a huge step towards giving them a permanent home, and we'll continue to work through the next phases together. Looking ahead, next month's council will introduce a bond ordinance to reallocate unused funds, just under $465,000. This amount is less than we initially identified, as department heads have made requests for their departments that have been granted. The remaining funds will be reallocated towards capital projects that directly benefit residents, including improvements to the Jackson Dog Park, the Bartley Road project, the police department parking lot, and other long-term community investments. Lastly, I want to thank Jackson Mills Fire Station 54, Chief O'Hara, for inviting me to their monthly meeting last night. It was great to connect with the team and to hear about their goals for the future. We are committed to supporting their continued success. Jackson is moving forward. We are working together, thinking creatively, and focusing on building a stronger, safer, and brighter future for all of our residents. Thank you for all being a part of our vision, and have a great evening.
Council Vice President Bernstein.
Thank you, Clerk. First of all, I'm just going to say a couple thank yous tonight. A special thank you to our Deputy Clerk, who has really stepped in and done a phenomenal job. Thank you. I know you're new here, and we appreciate all the hard work. An additional thank you is to Mr. Phillips. I think it's like your third council meeting here, but you're already an oldie over here, and you're doing a great job, and it's good to know that Mr. Phillips is accessible and reachable really at all times of the day and in the evenings, and he's always out there. Also a thank you to all of our condolences to those who were injured, and unfortunately the person who perished by the lightning strike. A special thank you to all of our emergency personnel from locally and from around the area who stepped in to help. I know administration and Mr. Phillips updated everyone and kept everyone informed, and everyone did their best under such circumstances. Council President mentioned the recreation committee. A special thank you. It's great to hear that they're out and about. I think there were residents, volunteers already working in some of the parks this afternoon again. And wishing everyone a wonderful rest of the summer.
Councilman Borelli.
Thank you. My thoughts and prayers are with Robert Montgomery's family. Mr. Montgomery died as a result of the lightning strike incident last week at the Black Knights Bow Benders archery range located in our town. He was one of the instructors at the range. Jackson Cub Scout Pack 204 was attending an event there when this terrible tragedy occurred. And I want to thank Mr. Phillips for keeping us informed and briefing us that evening on what was going on. And 14 other people, unfortunately, also suffered injuries from the lightning strike and were treated. Please keep them as prayer as they recover. And thank you to all of our town's brave first responders, including Chief Cachuro, who I see here in the audience, and also first responders from other towns who responded and treated the victims and helped prevent further tragedies from occurring. Just as a point of information, from what I've read and was informed, the Spray Park and the Justice Complex will be closed for maintenance tomorrow, July 23rd, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Also, the new pickleball court is open in Wood Lane Park in our town from dawn to dusk. There are 2 more concerts left to go in Johnson Memorial Park from 6:30 to 8. DNA Band is playing on August 7th and Living Proof Band on August 21st. Please bring your own lawn chairs, and food trucks are on site at these concerts. And also the farmers market continues every Thursday until September 4th in the Justice Complex. And the Recreation Department's also sponsoring New York Yankees and Tampa Bay Rays trip is next Thursday, July 31st. I wish the Yankees were playing a little bit better, but we're in second place and there's still 60 plus games to go. So as a side note, the game starts at 1:05. Meet at the Township Municipal Building if you want to pick up a bus there to go to the game. Snacks will be provided on the bus, and tickets are $105. And you can register to go at https://register.communitypass.net/Jackson, or you can call the Jackson Rec Department at 732-928-1200 at extension 1255, or email Anthony Horta at the Rec Department at ahorta@jackson.twpnj.net. And there's never a shortage of things to do, as you've heard, and events to go to in our town of Jackson, especially in the summertime. Good seeing you all, and have a good evening. Thank you.
Councilman Bressi?
Thank you. Yeah, my mind and my reflection was on my peers, for all those involved in that lightning strike. It was a horrible thing. But I do have to say, Mr. Phillips did keep us informed second by second what was going on with all the emergency responders out there and the response they all had. And mutual aid and everybody else was just fabulous. That part was, you can't say enough for that. But it was a horrible night for us, and it's something I think we're all reflecting on. This evening, I am looking forward to the county engineer's presentation. I think we'd all be very interested in what's coming up on all the county roads. We have 100 miles of county road here, and I think we'll be very interested in that. So thank you for coming out. Enjoy the evening. Get home safe. Thank you.
Councilman Palmieri?
I would just like to start with my thoughts and prayers to all those affected in the lightning strike. I would also like to welcome everyone in attendance and those watching from home. Thank you for staying engaged and staying informed. And a special welcome to our county engineer, Mr. Jenke, and our county commissioner, Mr. Sadeghi, for being here tonight. Thank you for your continual support for Jackson Township. So thank you.
Next item for tonight's meeting is an update from the Department of Public Works. Mr. Sean Belinsky, Council President Kuhn.
Thank you. 2025 bulk collection pickup has been completed. Thank you for your cooperation for helping us to keep the community clean and organized. If there's anything that has not been picked up, I would highly suggest to contact DPW because they're not picking it up. It's been completed. I know that I drove down Bennett's Mills Road and there's a pile that's probably 40 by 20 on the side of the road. So I don't think they're coming to pick that up. So I would just strongly advise to contact Mr. Belinsky at DPW. Next, we have brush collection beginning tomorrow. Crews will begin in Zone 1. Please make sure all brush is placed on the curbside according to the guidelines to keep the process smooth and efficient. Dog park improvements underway. We'll begin working with the administration and the engineer on potential improvements on the dog park. We're committed to making it a safer, more enjoyable space for everyone. If you have any concerns or suggestions, please contact the Department of Public Works. We'd love to hear from you. Waste oil collection is resumed. We'd like to remind everyone that the waste oil collection system at our transfer station is back up and running. We are now accepting waste oil again. Please follow the proper disposal guidelines when dropping off oil. oil. Storm response and drainage improvement updates. With the recent heavy rainstorms, our crews have been out daily, giving extra attention to the flood zone, prone flood areas. Keep debris clear and running for the street sweepers to help minimize water buildup. I live in Brookwood 4, and I went to a home on Forest in North Carolina, and this family's home, due to the storm, act of God, just we cleaned up the municipal roads and put in new drain, and it's draining so well that it's actually flowing and completely destroying her property. So I do want to say, she told me personally that DPW has been out there every day with this whole crew trying to help her and kind of save the flooding that's occurring. But it is definitely a problem. So I know that our engineers and our DPW department are looking into that. If you do notice any concerns, can you please contact DPW? We've had an excessive amount of rain lately, and we are seeing a lot of stormwater issues. So thank you so much, Madam Clerk, Madam Deputy Clerk.
Next item on the agenda is our presentation with our guest speaker, Commissioner Sadeghi, and Ocean County Engineer, Mr. Jenke.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for having us here tonight. Just about 2-3 weeks ago, I was having a good day and a lot of compliments, a lot of good things happening. And I looked at my plan and Bernstein calling me. And I think I am on his speed dial, or whatever their terminology is nowadays. But we appreciate the fact that that you work so hard for the constituents, as all of you do. I speak to council president on a regular basis as well, and the rest of the council members, and we appreciate that. That just is a reflection of how in tune and in touch you are with the needs of the community. And believe me, I'm one of the newer commissioners. In this capacity, I guess I've been here for 17 months, 16, 17 months, and I can tell you that we have a mission, and the moment is right. And the mission is to be in touch and make the municipalities feel like they're part of the program, part of the family, and that's the truth of it. Without the municipalities, there wouldn't be a county or a need for county services. So we're trying to change that mindset, and I don't want to disrespect or say anything negative about the people who were in those positions 25, 30 years ago. Maybe circumstances were different, maybe financial aspects of the county were different. I can tell you today, and we all see it, and it's sort of a double-edged sword. We bought a house that maybe was valued at $600,000 10 years ago. That same house is selling for $1 million. And we sort of like that. My son doesn't like it because he wants to buy a house in Ocean County, and who has the down payment to buy a house for $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. But the positive side of it is that the $1 million house translates to resources and monies that comes to the county, and it allows the county to have that flexibility to do some good things for municipalities. One of the sticking points, or one of the issues that's been sort of debated, we've been debating on a regular basis, and something that I've talked to the county engineer, Mark Jenke, and Mark is relatively new to this particular position. He's been with the county engineering department for a few years, but at his capacity, and we are so glad that he is there. John Ernst did an outstanding job, but Mark Jenke understands that the county is changing, the needs of the people in the county and our residents are changing, and he's prepared to address those. And in fact, he's excited about addressing those. So it's a conversation that we have on a regular basis. Who is responsible for installing curbs and sidewalks and those necessities in today's life in Ocean County? And it's not unique to just Jackson Township. And we can debate who is responsible, but I can tell you that the mindset is that the county is prepared, they have the resources, And we should come up with a mechanism through which we can at least have that dialogue with the township officials as to how do we address that. Should the municipalities have some skin in the game? Absolutely, because otherwise we would have a flood of requests up and down the county. And I don't think yes, we have resources. I don't know if we have that much resources where we can address all these issues. But I can tell you, we've had over the last year and a half that I've been here, there's been several occasions where I've had calls from specifically Councilman Bernstein. He wanted us to take a look at certain corridors and locations and take a look at whether it makes sense to install sidewalks, and the county can assist. And he knows that we've made the resources and the county engineer's office, as well as the engineering department and the bridge department, if necessary. I saw your mayor, we were installing sidewalks, and I say sidewalks on temporary basis. We just wanted to create a safe environment where people could go from one location to another on 528, where the lake is. Very dangerous. We took a walk out there, and there's probably 2 feet of space where these people have to negotiate and walk, and you have trucks and such and tractor trailers traveling on that road. And so we had the engineering department and the road department get sort of creative, and through that we were able to actually put in some safe walkways and such in that corridor. And I drove by, because most of the work, or some of the work, or a lot of the work was done on weekends where we didn't have as much traffic in that neck of the woods. And I drove by on Saturdays a couple of times, and I saw Mike Reyna out there actually hands-on directing the traffic and such. So that shows the commitment that he has to the residents of Jackson Township. But we are also committed. The county is also committed. We're formulating a scenario where we can sit down and talk to the different municipalities and the council members and such, and see how we can come up with a formula where there's a contribution on the county side, and maybe a bigger contribution on the county side, and a smaller contribution on the municipal side, and we can get this going. But we're not stopping at this point to get to that point. While we're doing that, we're trying to address the needs of, whether it's Toms River, walking communities in Toms River, Lakewood, Jackson, and Manchester. We recently actually walked Bartley Road, where there are needs for, and the agreement that we came up with was to have your township engineer prepare the plans and such, get all the right-of-way acquisition and the easements and such in place, and then we'll have the county, and we already have a designated contractor who can do this work. Then the county would get involved and actually install the sidewalks in those locations. As a result of the request to come before you, we wanted to have a 10-minute presentation, talk about some of the things that the engineering department and the road department has accomplished over the last 2 years in Jackson Township, and talk about some of the things that we want to put on the agenda and on the list for next couple of years. I can tell you this, we are absolutely committed and recognize the fact that Jackson Township is going to be the growing, by far, more than any other municipality. I say it here and I say it every night, that it's going to be, the growth is going to be right here in Jackson Township. And we are cognizant of that. We're committed to making sure that we address those needs as much as the county can and is within the resources. We talk about roads and widening roads and sidewalks and such on weekly basis, if not daily basis. But I'll turn it over, and again, thank you for inviting us here. I'll turn it over to Mark Jenke to do his presentation.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'd like to thank the council for the opportunity to come here and speak. And, our goal here is to bring a face for the county. And we're here to work with the town. Earlier, you saw my email address up there and our phone number. If there's issues for the council, the public, reach out to the county. Let us know what it is. You're our eyes out there. We don't see everything. So we need to work together to address the issues out there. So.
We're going to have Mark's cell phone actually.
I already sent it
It's
out.
fine, I have it. Don't worry.
It's already out.
Don't worry, I have it.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
He
Thank you,
does.
Commissioner. I
I know.
appreciate that. So, okay, can we, let's see, let's go to the first slide. So Commissioner talked about, hey, I just want to go quickly about some of the projects that we've done here. Next slide, please. So Louisiana Parkway, this was, we had issues, county drainage down a Township Road. We had sinkholes that were coming up there. We determined, hey, we need to line the pipe out there. And we chose pipelining because it was actually cheaper than going out there, digging up the road, all the curb and the trees and everything out there. So that's the approach we took out there. West County Line in Brookwood, Councilman Bernstein, very familiar with this project. I think actually you're the first one that reached out to us and we initiated
In
that.
2018, I think, but yes.
Yes. So that project's been done for about a year and a half, 2 years. I think it's been active out there. Some overlay projects that we've had here, County Route 539 on Horicon Avenue to 528. And then we also hit Cedar Swamp Road and Cassville Road, 571 in town there. Next slide, please. Another overlay project, we hit 539 from Horicon to 528. And these projects, you see different township names there. We group numerous projects within these overlays. So it's not just the one road in Jackson Township. We typically focus on the region. So we do projects up in the north to keep things going here. White Road at Cross Street. We had a project that we recently completed. It's going to be part of the Cross Street widening project, the 5-lane section that's happening in Lakewood and Jackson Township out there. Also, stormwater management contract 23A. Harmony Road, Hyson Road, Leesville Road, and South Cooksbridge Road. We get drainage complaints all the time, and there were individual drainage complaints there. The work could be as simple as, hey, just run a small connection here or there, or redo the entire system out there. We have a lot of issues where pipes are deteriorating. Any corrugated aluminum pipe or metal pipe in the road or underneath the road, those things are falling apart and going to dust after about 30 years. So it's something that we deal with on a daily basis. Next slide. Okay, active. Okay. So we are doing a overlay contract 21A. It's currently active, West Veterans Highway from Cassville Road to East Veterans Highway. Our overlay projects, we do milling, we do paving, we look at drainage, guide rail, and where we have traffic signals in there, we make some ADA upgrades out there. But we also try to take the opportunity to make other upgrades out there if we can. These are limited scope projects, so we're not doing major widening or anything like that. But if I can accomplish things by restriping or reconfiguring the heads at an intersection, that's what we try to do out there. Contract 22A is another overlay project, South New Prospect Road, Burke Road, and West Betts. So South New Prospect Road, that is one of those roads that, how I just talked about, we made changes out there. We striped a 3-lane section to better accommodate the traffic out there. Now, this is just an interim measure. This is not meant as the final configuration of the roadway out there, but it's a quick and dirty solution out there to try to make it safer and better address traffic capacity. We also have upgrades at all the signalized intersections out there. I believe all the intersections have dedicated left turn lanes. Part of this contract is adding left turn arrows. We do have an issue out there. We are still awaiting materials. There is you think COVID is over, we are still experiencing delays with getting materials.
If I could just quickly point out, I know we discussed this when you first came in.
Yeah.
A resident emailed, I think both of us yesterday. I just want to put extra stress in that. The corner of South New Prospect and Brewers Bridge Bethel Church over the left signal. How long ago did you guys start that request to get that signal on? Just so the resident.
Well, the project You mean as far as the initiation of the project? Because that's, we advertised this project last year.
Okay.
And we are experiencing delays upwards of 36 months to get certain pieces of traffic signal equipment. So I did have a conversation with the vendor just the end of last week to just try to push this. The latest they're telling us is mid-September. That is just not acceptable anymore. So we spoke earlier.
Yeah.
I'm looking at options, what I can do to expedite that. So
Okay.
I don't have an answer as to exactly when, but I am willing to.
Would the county consider maybe taking equipment from somewhere else that's not currently being utilized,
So-
just getting it up there? Because it's extremely dangerous.
So the county, we maintain nearly 400 traffic signals throughout. So we do have an inventory of some materials. With that delivery date being so close, I can look at possibly, if I have the materials in there, I'm going to be looking at supplying that to the contractor, getting the contractor out there and see what I can make happen that way.
Perfect. Thank you.
So we're looking at options is what we're doing out there. Next slide, please. Some upcoming construction projects. We have stormwater management contract 24A. This is on South New Prospect. We are not going out there to dig up the road. This is one of those situations that we're doing pipelining. So that's right within the area we just paved. And I try to avoid that as much as possible. I don't like to dig up freshly paved roads. West Commodore at Diamond Road. We are constructing a new traffic signal, dedicated left turn lanes. We have a pre-construction meeting scheduled July 23rd. So we're going to start seeing some activity out there. That is a approximately 12-month duration out there. So we will see that project happening very soon here. Rehabilitation of Farmingdale Road culvert. This is right at the Monmouth Ocean border. This is a pipe culvert out there that I talked earlier how pipes are deteriorating. Well, this is one of them. So we're going to be lining the pipe culvert. Then we're going to be constructing some new head walls. This will be a closure because it's just quicker to do it. So we would be able to get that work done in probably no longer than 4 months is what we're looking at right at the moment here. Reconstruction, resurfacing of county roads, contract 23B. So we have East Vets Highway and North Hope Chapel Road. So one of the things that we are doing on North Hope Chapel Road from 528 up to Cooksbridge, this is one of these quick and dirty projects here where we have enough room where we don't have to have JCP&L relocate their poles. We're going to add a little bit of asphalt out there, and we're going to get 2 northbound lanes in that direction out there. So that's the type of thing where I don't have to get right away. I don't have to get JCP&L to move things. So that is a project that is going to be awarded.
That's by Liberty. I just want to see, is that going to make it, we had discussed this prior, I just want to get it on the record, if it's going to make it prior to school opening in September or not.
No, that won't be.
Okay, just so that we know, so transportation knows that, and our traffic safety knows.
And one of the things, Jackson has a fantastic police department. We
Yes.
work with them intimately on these projects to make sure they're our resource for getting out to the schools and making sure that everyone's on the same page. I don't want to go out there, impact the road, and all of a sudden kids can't get to school. That's not what we're looking to do.
Can I just put one request on the record just
Yes.
while we're here? Can we not make, I don't know if we could do this, and I apologize if I'm inaccurate with it due to the county, but can we make it, they start later and not during the rush hour with the buses? Because we are going to have, we don't know what we're going to
So
expect in
first of
September.
all, PD has to approve any of the work
Okay,
out there.
so they can
have
pick the time.
control. So we will be working with that. We encourage nighttime work as much as possible. There's always a balance in things and stuff like that. So we will work with,
Thank you.
that area there and kind of it's not in the presentation, but I'd like to talk about with the school closing. So one of the things that we are doing right now is when we learned of the school closings, one of the very first things I did the next day is I had our traffic, we put little traffic counters at all the driveways out there. So I knew how many people were going to and from all the schools that were being impacted. Excuse me. From there, we have a consultant that came on board, and we are implementing time of day programming out there to minimize the delays that are going to happen, because traffic is getting, the shift in traffic is going to be tremendous. And so we need, I don't have enough lanes, so let's make the signals work as best we can to accommodate out there and minimize delays. This is going to be a growing process. We're going to be working hand in hand with PD.
Okay.
And, just to make that as best we can. So that's going out in
Thank you.
August in time for school. And
appreciate
so we
that.
look forward to doing that. So, next slide, please. So this project here is the roundabout at New Central Avenue and North Hope Chapel Road. The first thing is, this is not a traffic signal. This is a roundabout. So a roundabout is much different than a traffic signal. This is a federally funded project that the engineering department initiated this. The county initiated probably 8 to 10 years ago. It is, as I mentioned, it's federally funded. We are going out to bid the 23rd, so this is going out the door there. This project was designed to anticipate the growth that the area is going to happen. So, yes, we want to make something safe, but I also need it to move traffic. If it doesn't move traffic, it's not going to be safe. So this will operate much safer than a traffic signal is really what a roundabout does. There's going to be a learning curve. People are not going to be, I'm telling you right now, they're not going to be comfortable with this right in the beginning, but if we give it time, it will work. There's been many instances throughout the state. Burlington County, they have a lot of the similar type character areas and all that stuff. They've been very successful in it, and you've seen tremendous reductions in the crash rates out there. So, talk a little bit about the projects that are in design. So we are doing 3 intersections along Whitesville Road. Next slide, please. So we have Whitesville and Hope Chapel, Whitesville White Road, and Whitesville Faraday. So Faraday is right on the Toms River Jackson border out there. These are all intersections that we are building for the future. We are looking at projecting traffic out to 2050 and designing and building that road for today. I believe we're going to have close to 5 lanes on Whitesville Road at each of those intersections to accommodate the traffic. So we are looking to get all of them out the end of 26. They all require a Pinelands
I was going to
permit.
say it's
So
Pinelands.
please,
And isn't one of them Pinelands and DEP?
excuse me?
Isn't one of them Pinelands and DEP?
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
Faraday is on the border. So
Yeah,
the deal, we got the double bonus here of both DEP and Pinelands at one location. So we're going to, we'll get through it. And so I think all of them are going to be fantastic projects, going to have a tremendous impact to the area out there. Then we also have a traffic signal upgrade contract. We are just going out for getting a consultant on board there. We have Bennett's Mills and Frank Applegate, Butterfly Road, Hyson Road, and Harmony Road. We're looking at construction starting sometime in 27, but recently became aware of concerns at the intersection of Bennett's Mills and Frank Applegate. Councilman Bernstein said, hey, we have some issues out here. Can we convert the existing signal into a temporary signal? So happy to say that that is happening. It's scheduled for the week of August 4th. So about a week and a half from now is when.
Thank you.
So over the next week or so, you're going to start seeing county crews out there starting to hang the heads and get everything ready. So we'll be in good shape to do that. A couple of bridge projects we have going on is Brewers Bridge Road. So the bridge on Brewers Bridge Road is actually a county-owned structure, even though it's a township road. We are replacing this bridge. We anticipate that it's going to be advertised this fall. The project will take 12 to 15 months for completion, and we will be installing a temporary signal to have 1 lane alternating traffic. The detour was not a viable detour with all the school buses that are going in and out that residential area. So we elected to, let's minimize what we have. We had no room to shift the bridge, so we have to build it right back in the same
If I could
place.
just interrupt for 1 second. How long did you say the job should take?
12 to 15 months.
Okay, so just for the record, for the public, because people have asked about if this could be done over the summer. This can't be done over the summer.
No.
Excuse me?
This cannot- yeah.
No.
It's a big job. I just want
Yeah.
to put it out there.
No, we, believe me, if there was a way to do that.
It can't be done at night.
Well, it's going to
It's
be.
just a huge road.
It's a huge, that area it
It's a-
affects.
Oh,
It's-
it's going to be difficult. There's no doubt about it. But I have to build it and stage it. So I have to move the traffic to one side of the bridge, remove the other side of the bridge, build that new piece right in place, and then I'm going to move the traffic over to the new portion, and then,
I think some of the fear also is there was a bridge in Monmouth County by Bethel Church Road that was closed for about, like, I don't know, 5 years. It was a similar type of project, but Ocean County's better.
thank you.
And I'm just going to say, I think we should look at, one of you guys were just talking about that, maybe can they, like, they barricaded so that there couldn't be a cut through in there, because I'm worried about all of the children in 60 acres that people are going to cut through and go 60 miles an hour through Nature Boulevard to cut through to get to Manhattan, which already has 46,000 cars on it a week. So I just want to point that out with this one, that's a grave concern of me.
No, understood. And,
Okay.
and those are the types of things that we have the ability to react to. So I can react to it either through, tell the contractor to go out there, but I also have resources in-house that if I need to go out there, I can have guys out there putting up signs and barrels and doing
Okay.
whatever we need to do.
Okay.
So, that's part of that working relationship that we have with PD. And if things come up, we are going to be responsive.
Okay.
and
Thank you,
address
sir.
that. Rehabilitation of Larson Road culvert over the north branch of the Titicaca. This is another very similar to the Farmingdale Road culvert project. It's actually almost the same type of structure. We're going to be lining and all that stuff. This is a project that's going to go out in 28, and it's going to be about a 4-month detour on that one also. And then our last stormwater contract is contract 25A, White Road. This is down at the southerly end towards Whitesville Road, just a small drainage issue down there. So we're going to be addressing that and upgrading some of the drainage down there. So have a number of overlay contracts that are coming out. So County Route 526, North County Line Road from Jackson Mills to Bennett's Mills Road. This is one of our standard overlays. There's 4 intersections out there. Really not a lot of changes that are happening out there. That's a divided roadway. It operates it operates very well right at the moment. Then we have overlay contract 24C. 2 roads out there, North Hope Chapel Road, Florence Court to Miller, and then South Hope Chapel from Whitesville to East Vets. This is standard. Hey, we're just going to do the drainage, some ADA ramps. There's no traffic signals out there. We're looking to advertise this fall. Then we have overlay 24E. We have Bennett's Mills Road 527 to Cooks Bridge, about 2.8 miles. No traffic signals, again, very much just like the previous contracts out there. Then we have overlay 25A. We're going West Vets from Hawken to Stump Tavern, Jackson Mills from Cedar Swamp to North County Line Road, and then East Commodore from Cedar Swamp to Jackson Mills Road. That's going to be a project that we're going to see advertised May 2026. And then the last overlay contract is contract 25C. We're hitting Leesville Road from Cassville to West Vet. That's also going to be out in spring of 26. So, Commissioner Sadeghi talked about, hey, we're trying to address growth and all that stuff. This project here is a CMAQ project. It's a project to optimize traffic signals. So we obtained federal funding for this project. It's about 180 signalized intersections throughout the county. And when I say optimize, we go out there, we take traffic counts, and our consultant will evaluate, and traffic is continually changing, so let's come up with the best timing to best address and minimize the delays out there. So that's what this project is. You're going to see, I'm not going to go through all the thing, but we have County Line Road, Jackson Mills Road, New Prospect Road, North Hope Chapel Road, and South Cooks Bridge Road. They're all planned to be implemented in September. So we're looking to put that project out there. So that's a project we're very excited to see, because we've previously, our first optimization project, it was in 2017. It was located in Toms River and Brick Township. It was Hooper Avenue and Brick Boulevard. We saw a tremendous reduction in delay for the vehicles along the road. Part of what we do is there's post studies, and they actually do time trial. They measure the time it takes. They send a car out there and it goes from point A to point B, and he did it before the analysis, and now he's doing it after, so we can quantify the reduction in the delay out there. So we're very excited about that. So And then our last slide here. Go to the next one, please. Next one. Okay. So this ties in with directly with what Commissioner Sadeghi talked about with the commitment the county has to address the needs of the public. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to do traffic counts throughout the town, the entire town. And the goal is we're going to come up with concepts for what all these roads are going to look like. So we're going to know East Vets is going to be, a 3-lane section or a 5-lane section or whatever it may need to be. The importance of doing this is we're able to identify the configuration, what the road's going to be. It's very useful when we coordinate with developers as they come in with new developments out here. But it also gives us a roadmap for, hey, this is our plan moving forward. So this is these projects are going to take a while. The goal is that over the next year or so, we're going to be coming in, identifying this stuff, and then we're going to start prioritizing. We're going to prioritize these projects. We're going to break the Pinelands projects into their own separate things because I don't want to slow it down to DEP projects, and start working towards getting these things out there and making significant improvements. This is the first time the county has taken this approach to, we're trying to get ahead of the game here, and this is the best way to do it because we're going to identify the environmental constraints, the right-of-way constraints. As you know, there seems to be a stream every so many 100 feet in Jackson Township. So those are things that we have to deal with. So we need a game plan to do it. We need to know where the constraints are so we can effectively and efficiently move forward and come up with a solution that'll work. So that's our game plan here. It's a 2-phase project. I only, because the first phase is happening in 25, but it is one continuous project. So I'm hoping that, later next year, we're coming back and we have a map that shows, hey, this is what the game plan is. And then we're going to start having a conversation
We
to
hope so, too.
see where we're moving first. Part of what we've been doing here at the county is to coordinate more with developers, have a better understanding of what's coming down the pike, so we can better prepare for it and be ready. So
I just
thank you very
want
much for the
to thank you
opportunity.
so much. Thank you for coming. Such a great
I can tell you
presentation.
with confidence that everybody is going to sleep better tonight after listening 45 minutes of roads and widening roads and stripes.
As long as it doesn't bill for 45 minutes.
Yeah, are we getting billed for 45 minutes?
But really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
So,
and
Council
in fact,
President, if I-
we're going to use this as a model to do more of these with other
Absolutely.
municipalities as well.
We're happy to be your guinea pig in this. And as I had said before, I don't think everybody knows how much goes into the communication that we do have, this council does have with our commissioners and our engineers to able to open up those lines of communication to say, hey, listen, how do we get more infrastructure? How do we do this? We have 42 county roads going through our town. I think we have the most in Ocean County. Yeah, so I think that, we're happy to be your guinea pig. If you want to throw your county money towards Jackson Township and test on our roads, we will happily accept. But no, thank you.
And
very
if I could just add, thank you very much, Commissioner. I appreciate you taking my call that night. The next commissioner is going to be getting a call later tonight with regard to the parks to come here next. So we appreciate it, but you'll be off.
And I want to make sure that Mark sends me this.
Yeah, can we have this for our website?
Because every time you call me and complain about the fact that the county is not doing enough for Jackson, I'll email this to you.
Yeah.
After 35 minutes up here,
Go
it's
to
enough for
page
now.
8 of the presentation. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Janke, I do have
Thank
a
you so
question.
much.
Mr. Janke, I do have one question. I don't want to interrupt you in the middle of it. On the construction of the light at Commodore and Diamond Road,
Yes.
what was the timing on that?
Excuse me?
What is the timing on that, to have a light up there?
Diamond Road.
We have the timing, as far as duration, it's about a year. We have we just are advancing that project right now. I think we have a pre-construction meeting scheduled on
Now, the
that.
problem, the only reason I'm asking, especially now, with the detour that's up now, over Cedar Swamp and everything, the intersection there is just, you can't believe what it's like.
So by the time we start construction, that work will be completed. So I believe we have about 3 to 4 more weeks with that detour.
Right.
So
There's nothing you can do in the meantime to get something temporarily up there with, I mean, you got everything, 18 wheels, everything coming down Diamond Road
You
from
know,
there.
what I can tell you, I don't have an answer for you, but I will take a look at
Okay,
it and
thank
see
you.
if there's an opportunity of anything that we can do.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Council,
You're welcome.
Council President, if I could
Yes,
really fast.
absolutely.
Mr. Jenke, it's nice to finally meet you in person. I want to thank you for your assistance with that one property that was on a county road there, and taking care of that. Thank you to you and your staff, and thank you, Commissioner Sadeghi, for being here as well, and your commitment and focus on the work that you're doing here in our town. So, and, you know, planning ahead, of course, as well. So I think it's definitely needed. A lot of, unfortunately, some other towns maybe didn't plan out that well in the past, but I'm glad to hear it's being done here and all that. So one question for you is, I don't know if it was in the packet. I don't think I saw it in there. Do you know the status? And I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I think I may have reached out to you about this. The status of the county putting in a left turn signal at the Harmony Road and Jackson Mills intersection. It's so many residential homes in that area, including a Four Seasons active adult community, and right up the road too. From there is a 200-unit townhouse development that is being developed as we speak. So it's only like you were.
I don't have an update on it, but I
Okay.
will get back to you on that. That will not be an issue, so I'll get back to you.
Okay, and then also with the new Wawa, I think I reached out to the county and also some township officials about that vegetation there, trying to make a right turn. I think that's, it's on the Wawa property, but it's right on County Road, and
Yeah,
it's a little
we
difficult making that right turn out of the parking lot there.
Yeah, we
for
are working with
progress.
code enforcement. I think code enforcement is on it.
I did get an email from her that they did give a summons to have them abate it within 7 days. I don't know if they followed up, but they did. The code enforcement department head did send me an email that he sent an officer out there. I did not follow up with him.
Thank you. I'll let you, I know you've spoken long enough, so I don't.
Council
take no
President, just
more
one
of your
question.
time. Appreciate
The
it.
presentation, is that something you could be able to email so we can share it with the residents who weren't making it tonight?
Not an issue. Actually, the town already has it, so
Okay,
feel free
perfect.
to distribute it as you wish.
Thank
And
you.
we'll get you a copy as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item of business is second reading and public hearing ordinance 2025-24, which was introduced on July 8th, 2025. Amending and supplementing Chapter 103 entitled Vehicles and Traffic, Article 14, Schedules for Pitney Lane. At this time, if any member of the public has any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone, state your name, address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once. May I have motion to open public comment, please?
Motion open?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Seeing no one come forward, make a motion to close public comment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-24?
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Councilman Bressy?
Yes,
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Motion adopted. Next item of business is second reading and public hearing of ordinance 2025-25, which was introduced on July 8th, 2025. Amending Chapter 245, Landlord Registration and Responsibilities, Article 1, Landlord Registration. At this time, if any member of the public have any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone, state your name, address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once. May I have motion to open public comment?
Motion to open?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Any opposed?
Seeing no one come forward, make a motion to close public comment.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have motion to adopt ordinance 2025-25?
Motion.
Second?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressy?
yes,
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Ordinance adopted. Next item of business is the first reading and introduction of ordinance 2025-26, amending and supplementing Chapter 103 entitled Vehicles and Traffic, Article 14, Schedules for Piccadilly Drive. Council President Kuhn, any comments for ordinance 2025-26?
This is to not allow parking on Piccadilly Drive.
Council President, if I could just add, if you don't
Yes,
mind?
I'm
This was
totally
this was a recommendation that was made by a planning board meeting, that
Correct.
that the application would submit a request, and that's why it's on this agenda.
It's amending traffic, entitled vehicle and traffic. Yes, I'm just looking for, it's going to be 910 feet along the frontage of lot 1.0 and 1.02. Again, it'll be 910 feet. This is coming from the planning board, so when things get approved, we are requiring ordinances for no parking on the municipal roads.
May I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-20?
So moved.
Second?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Motion approved. Next item of business is the payment and authorization of bills and claims. I would like to note the following abstentions. Abstentions include Councilman Borelli for AET01, EYE01, NJD04, and RUT04. Councilman Bressi is for JAC01, and Council President Kuhn is for RCS02. Are there any questions or comments for Township Council?
I am going to, and I have been looking at my phone, but it's only to make sure that I can pull up the bill that I'm questioning, which is money that's been paid out of open space for an additional $53,000. It's purchase order 2402054 regarding the pickleball. I keep seeing additional monies on this bill list every month for things that have already been done for that park. And it was supposed to be on a grant. And I know that there was a mishap with the fence, and that was an additional monies of, I think, $40,000, and now we have an
42.
additional $53,000. I would like to ask my fellow council members if we can remove it from the bill list so that we can sit with the CFO and just make sure I could do, because I can't read everything. She sent me the reply, but I haven't been able to look at it.
I was going to ask if our business administrator maybe had more information on that. I know it's before his days, but I
I
don't
think it's before his days. Do you have any? Yeah, it's before his days. It's bothering me that more money has been taken out for the project that was on a grant that's been taken out of our open space money. And I feel like it's being pushed on here and we don't know. If I could ask for a motion for it to be removed until our next meeting, until we could do our due diligence.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
No.
Yes to those abstentions as well. And,
Well, this
Well,
would be a
this is
motion
just
to
for-
remove.
oh,
Yeah.
yes to that motion, not to the entire list yet. Thanks.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes, and thank you, Council President, for finding that.
And Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Okay. May I have a motion to adopt the bills and claims with the abstentions noted, please?
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
And Council President Kuhn?
Yes, I'm sorry. The attorney was giving me attorney advice that I already knew I had to do. I've got it now. So that's done. Now we'll move on to
Yes.
resolutions.
Consent agenda.
Yes, ma'am. Any questions? Or
I would like to, all right, we're going to the agenda. Now you got me all discombobulated. I'd like to have a resolution, R255 removed and open for conversation. And would anybody from the public like to have any resolutions removed for the council to discuss? I was doing that anyway.
So do we vote on everything else and then come to
Wait,
this after?
no, we did, that we're having that, and if I'm wrong, you're the attorney, you answer. I don't have to-
I didn't hear his question.
Do we vote on everything else from the consent agenda and then
Anything
discuss?
pulled from the consent agenda is held. You take a motion on the consent
Okay,
agenda.
perfect,
Once that's done, you would move on to the next item.
perfect.
Got
It's
it.
not been yet discussed.
Okay.
May I, Council President?
Absolutely.
I don't know, did I read one communication right that the state won't look at the budget until we introduce the municipal?
There it is.
Okay.
Thank you. Deputy Clerk?
Yes. May I have it, next item is consent agenda. All right. May I have a motion to authorize the consent agenda resolutions 248 through 254 then?
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
And Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Approved. So will we do that one now?
Yes, now we're going
Open the floor,
to discuss
open the floor.
open floor for resolution 255. Regarding, now council can discuss it, no?
We'll do first public. or-
Do we do the public first?
Public doesn't come.
Yeah, the public doesn't come.
Oh, okay.
Just council. This has
First
been-
time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
The resolution has been put on to discuss. This has been an ongoing internal review, I think, of council. I've met with the auditors. I've met with the interim CFO. I've met with the new CFO. We've gone over everything. You know, as I've spoken openly, we found when one audit funded funds of $1.4 million went through them. You could see that was on part of our opening comments. We had some of them reallocated already to DPW, to the police department. And then we kind of went over where the rest of them can go, where, as in the dog park, where we can do. That kind of, it was alarming to me. The open space fund was a little bit of alarming to me once we got in and I sat with the CFO and the questions that I had, she kind of had. And, you know, a lot of our department heads were being told that, you know, this is how it's always been done. That is something I don't think anybody wants to hear when you're looking at a municipality budget. And, you know, there was questions that a lot of department heads had. So with doing this, we have now introduced it. We did, as we have done, we sent the letter to the state. We asked the state to come in to review it. I don't think our budget in I'm going to say 15 years, has the state ever come in and reviewed our budget? So
Not before introduction.
okay. So now that we've done introduction, the state has said that they would be coming in and reviewing it just to go for a fresh, we have a fresh BA, we have a fresh CFO, we have a lot of fresh things going on. We have, you know, we have Jackson Day. We don't even have a line in Jackson Day for a budget. Like, you know, the money just kind of comes from all different accounts. And I just think it's very unorganized. And I don't think it's the right way for transparency when you're dealing with a municipality this big. So Councilman Bernstein and myself were, you know, as I hate this phrase, but our heels in the sand, and that we really want this looked at. We really want it to be looked at. And then once we started educating the rest of the council, you know, some of the council members were in agreement that there are things that really needed to be looked at, and that's where we are now. That's kind of my comments. You know, we're going to vote after everybody has their opportunity to make a comment.
This is just a question for, I guess, Mr. McGuckin, because I haven't voted on that many budgets in the past. This vote tonight is to introduce the budget.
Correct.
Our vote is not if we like the budget or not, it's to introduce the budget, right?
That's correct. The budget is from the administration, given to the council. Council introduces it. Public hearings are set. The council has the opportunity to review it. DCA also reviews it. The local finance board reviews it. I think that's what Council President was indicating. The final budget is only done by the council after you've had that opportunity, after a public hearing, and then council can make a decision on the actual vote on the budget.
Okay, and when you mentioned, I guess, public hearings and obviously, what is just really to understand in this form of government, the administration creates the budget.
Correct.
They give it to council to introduce, and council introduces it, and then council has the authority to make amendments as they see fit.
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Mr. McGuckin.
I just want to follow up on that one, Mike. So if we make suggestions now that it's been introduced to administration, that is something that administration has to do on our recommendation, or administration still says no, do we bring the state in and then the state is the final determining factor?
No, you are the final determining factor. Council can now take the budget. They can make changes to the various line items. We can move money from different accounts to other ones as part of the budget process. The council would approve a budget, and it's the council's budget once it's approved.
And Mr. Borelli was.
And so so that's what I'm saying is, if we do the budget, and I apologize, Councilman, we do the budget, and then what we finally make the term on as a council, then the administration has to deal with it.
That's correct.
Okay.
Once the budget is set, then administration cannot spend money that's not authorized in the budget that's adopted.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Borelli, I think I had a question.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Councilman.
So I guess it would be like in previous years, there would be, like, we would be voting on the budget at the last meeting in August if we're introducing it tonight.
Council will set the hearing. There has to be certain notices provided. I understand a request of local finance board to review it, which they do automatically as well. So you can set the hearing now, or you can set it once you've had an opportunity to do that.
All right. Then we can find, because I've been getting questions from some residents about what's the tax rate. And they said, well, we don't have a tax rate established because the budget hasn't been passed yet. So, I'm sorry. We're talking about the tax rate, and a lot of residents have been asking about an established tax rate, and I've been telling them, well, we don't really have one at this time because the budget hasn't been passed, but I guess that would be established once the municipal budget is introduced, and hopefully both
Once
administration
adopted,
and
once the
council-
budget's adopted, then the tax rate is set.
Okay.
But we do have a roundabout if the tax collector has been answering all those questions. So I would recommend anybody that sends you a question, just like I have done, I forward it to the tax collector, and they have come back, and I've had emails that have been ready, willing, and able to share that they are satisfied with the answer that they're getting from the tax collector.
Any other comments?
And I believe it's 28 days, correct?
For the hearing?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I don't
Yes.
recall the exact date, but I
Okay.
believe that is correct.
Yes, Councilman.
it's 28 days, correct? Yeah,
Council President?
absolutely.
I just wanted to let residents know, I did speak with, meet or speak with the CFO and our auditor at least 4 times about this budget. And there is some good in this budget. There are some concerns in this budget, but I do believe it is important that we take this initial step to move it forward so we could really get into it and present something that is respectable to the entire town, that'll do justice for the town and also for every department. We had Mr. Belinsky here just last meeting talking about being 20 members short of what he needs to be for DPW. And that's a disservice to DPW. That's a disservice to this town. So, we have to take some hard looks and see where and how we could make sure that each department has what it needs to be successful in town and for our residents. So thank you.
Any
Councilman
other
Bercy?
council members? Can we proceed to vote?
Sure. May I have a motion to authorize resolution R 255-2025?
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes,
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes, and I just want to thank Council President for her lead through an entire process so we can get to a place where we can review it correctly. Thank you, yes.
And Council President Kuhn?
I'd like to abstain, so I don't have to go. I think now that I understand a little bit more clarity that we can literally go through the numbers and that administration will have to work with it, what we give them, I will vote yes. Thank you. Thank you for the clarity on that.
Resolution approved. At this time, if any member of the public have any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone. State your name, address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once. May I have a motion to open public comment?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll be first since I'm the one that always brings up the budget. Good to see we finally have something introduced. So along those lines, I know the public meeting is going to be on the 26th
26.
of August. I'm sorry. Is it on? Okay. In the past, I guess the last couple of years, the business administrator and the CFO have been before this board once it's been introduced to kind of give an overview of the budget. Will they be doing that again this year?
It will be our auditor and our CFO, yes. It will not be our business administrator that I'm aware of, no.
But they'll be doing a similar presentation. Now that it's been introduced, when will the introduced budget be published on the township website? Or when can I pick a copy of it?
Madam Deputy Clerk?
I will check with the CFO exactly when. It'll be advertised after today's meeting. There's one advertisement that will go out tomorrow to the Asbury Park Press. And it has most of the
And
numbers.
you
And if
should
I
be
don't
able to
read
pick
the
up
Asbury
a
Park-
copy. A copy should be available tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah.
It'll be available
I don't
this
have
week.
it yet. CFO will get it for me.
So where would I pick it up
Oh,
from?
you can come to the clerk's office, absolutely.
Email one of us and then we'll get you to make sure that it's ready.
Well, if
I
it-
don't see
if
why
it-
it wouldn't be ready because
If it's
it's,
published out on the website, I
Yeah.
won't bother
Yeah.
anybody. and
Okay.
Just take it off of the website.
thank you.
So again, looking at the numbers that's on here, it's kind of hard. So I definitely want to dig into it because I think I can think of a few things that go into that budget. I know Mr. Palmieri brought up the fact that DPW asked for 20 people. that's a bottom line number that's going to hurt. And
That's none in the budget. That was a
I
presentation. Oh,
understand
okay.
that, but it's future budget.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that we're looking at this thing logically, not just saying, oh, they need 20 people, let's go out and take it. Because I will tell you, one of the disappointing answers he gave, and I think it was Mr. Bresci that actually asked the question, is if you were to get those 20 people, what would you have them doing? And he said, oh, I would find something for them to do. As a resident, I don't want to hear that. I want to know that you have specific needs that you're going to address and take care of it quickly. But if you're going to just tell me, oh, I'll find something for them to do, that tells me you may not need them as much as you think you do. So keep that in mind when you question these guys.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
My name's Lisa Holman. I have a question. I don't know if this is but
You just have to say Jackson or wherever you live.
what else do I say?
Your name
address,
and your
please.
address.
Oh, I live on Farmingdale Road. I live here 40 years. My concern is I get sick when I see all the trees being ripped out. I know you hear that all the time, but when my husband was still alive, he used to look down Prospect and shake his head like where all those Paragon are. And everywhere you look, I mean, when we used to get a locust-ridden tree pulled out, we had to wait to get a permit. And I just say to myself, how do you get these permits to rip out thousands and thousands of trees and it never stops? And my question is, when they build across from me, I wrote a letter to the EPA, and also to the letter of the person that is going to build something across the way. I never got a response. It was in February. And I did come down here to see what was on the planning, but the plans weren't in as yet. And they said, oh, you can come and look to see what's being built and have questions, but the papers weren't there. So my question was, as I put in that letter, how is this going to affect those of us that are directly across from the 14 acres across from us when they build, the displacement of the wildlife? I mean, I have deer in my yard all the time, I have critters. How's it going to affect our wells, the water, the flooding, the property value? I mean, all this, like I said, I'm here 40 years. My husband died, and it's all about me. I'm the big cheese stands alone. I have to figure this all out. So it bothers me when I see all these trees. I'm not like when you're nature, ooh, but it's mind blowing because I thought we were the pine barrens, and I thought that you have to, balance ebb and flow. You build, but we need trees, we need oxygen. Just like they need the whales in the ocean, with the wind tunnels. But that's another story. But that's my question. Like, how can I get an answer? I know that if they did anything with that property, it wouldn't even be surveyed probably till the fall because I heard they're behind. But I want to know, how's that going to affect, my neighbor, our wells, the runoff, the water, everything, and the wildlife, and just what's it going to do? I mean, that's my concern. I live there, and I'm getting old. I don't want to move. I don't want to move.
Which project are you referring to on Farmingdale Road?
Well, there's nothing on the books yet. There's nothing on the books, but across from me, I mean, I know that they're slated to do across from Ciccone, I believe 3 schools. I don't know when. That's not even up for, the schools and such by Pfister. But on Farmingdale Road, where they have the D&D. It used to be D&D. And Solomon, he sold all his houses and his property, the buildings. I don't even know. You believe this in here 40 years? I don't even know their address. I don't even know. But it's right there. It's if you're at Ciccone and you're heading towards Route 9, it's right there. Like, go like 5 houses down on the right and look across the street and you'll see. And like I said, that's 14 acres. You can't see it. I mean, I used to be a little farm there years ago. They had lambs, it's great. But there's 14 acres back there. And eventually, they're going to build stuff. They bought the property 2 years ago, and, that's not being looked at yet for whatever. But obviously, it's going to be something. And like I said, we were rural, and the houses were dotted. I'm not in a neighborhood. So I have an acre and a half. So I want to know, how's that going to affect me? How's it going to affect my neighbor and my other neighbor? So that's my question. And the trees, because like I'm saying, how does they just get ripped out? Thousands. That blows my mind. So
Well,
anyway.
I can say that anybody that wants to put in an application has to go in front of a board. It would be the planning board. That's not this board, we're council. So
But how do they get approved? Like, how, the
That's-
EPA, like, how do they just, don't they research it and say, okay, well, this is going to affect this, or, the displacement of the water? I mean, my neighbor's basement was flooding because somebody a few doors down took out, like, I'm thinking, how do they take out all these trees? What are they doing? And there's always like stuff going on over there. It's like,
Sir,
I don't
can you
wanna-
please sit down until she's done? Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? Like, all these trees were ripped out willy-nilly. It looks like tent city in the backyard.
So-
Like I said, it's none of my business.
Council President, if I could just add for a second, if you go, I think going back to our last meeting, if you go on any permit that was pulled and to pull a tree or to develop anything, there has to be permits and applications, and everything is public record, whether you go into the planning and zoning office or you go into SDL, which is our online portal, all that stuff should be.
Yeah, but the studies, I'm talking about the studies of how they come about to say, okay, this is going to affect, the water.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I would say go to the planning board, and when the application comes up, the
Okay,
planning
I have
board,
to go back because I want to
Yes.
see what they're, I just, you know what
I
I mean?
know.
Like, it's common sense. It's, and you don't think about these things. In your 20s, you think, oh, you're raising your kids. And now you're getting old, you're like, well, what's going on? And I don't want to move.
we don't want you to move. Thank you.
I don't want to move. I like Jackson. I don't want to move.
Me too.
I just want to go with
Yeah.
the flow. But like I said, I worry. The wells, the water, the animals. I mean, we got animals all the time. You see Bambi in the backyard. It's a beautiful thing. I mean,
Thank
who
you,
else can
ma'am.
say they have
We-
that?
Thank
I want
you.
a concrete jungle.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Adam Heidi. I live in Jackson, and I really love what Ms. Homan said. I'd like to piggyback on everything she just said. I came here 2 weeks ago, and I spoke on behalf of the wildlife, if you guys all recall, right? So again, I want to be, I'm speaking from an environmental point. Just to piggyback on what Ms. Homan said about the Pine Barrens, there is legislative acts, like it's a Pine Barren Act, don't quote me on it, but there is legislation that requires our town to do a number of ecological survey impacts prior to development. And I'm not sure if you guys are aware or if the planning board is aware, but we're all in this together. And when we get sued for violating legislation, we're all going to suffer. So respectfully, we need to make decisions together. We can't farm over accountability to other places. Now, specifically last meeting, I referenced Lake Eno, I referenced speed bumps. And you told me that the engineer, it's not possible, right? But can we reduce the speed limits?
If the traffic safety bureau comes and gives us a recommendation to reduce the speed limits, we can send it to the engineer
Maybe
and the
put-
attorneys. Absolutely.
Particularly near like wildlife places. Like, I mean, Bennett's Mill is 40 miles an hour downhill. I'm making a left in Lake Eno. Everyone's illegally passing on the shoulders. They're waiting to kill a child walking up. A goose, a turtle, a hawk, all of these things. And number two, same thing. These permits, all like these reports, where are they? I went on the environmental council page 10 minutes ago, and the last agenda was from 2024 in May. Okay, that's well over a year ago, right? Where is the transparency for the environmental reports? We keep on building, but where are the environmental impact reports? And how do you build without the survey? How do we go forward without the survey? You don't shoot and ask questions later. I mean, in America, maybe, but like, right? Where do, we need a portal. We need to.
We
all
have
this-
one,
all-
SDL, and we are working on that, and we talk about it every meeting.
And every environmental report,
I-
every
I'm-
project,
I'm-
it's the law, excuse me.
Nobody's
My time
disagreeing.
respectfully.
Yeah.
Ms. Kuhn, every project over 1 acre mandates legally an ecological impact report. How many projects over the last 5 years have cleared out more than an acre of trees? And how many ecological how many reports have been done? We'll get to who's conducted them. It's third party. We choose who conducts them, right? So we can pick whatever biologist company we want, right?
Yeah, they're very helpful to the land use boards and guiding them, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to decision-making and asking questions.
Yeah. DPW is asking for 20 blue-collar workers. Why don't we hire 5 scientists to really look over our town and make sure like the bees don't get threatened? the trees, like all of this. This is an action item. There needs to be a place where everybody can find these ecological impact reports. And every project should just come attached with that. Like, hey, we surveyed all this land. That habitat's not affected. These species are fine. It's the law. It's the law. Are you guys following the law? Can either of you confidently say that these reports have been done? And if I submit an Oprah request in the next 15 minutes, I can get all of them? Just be honest with me.
We were going to, are you done? I didn't want to interrupt your time.
I'm not sure, honestly.
Okay, so then I'll let you go another minute and talk, so then the attorney can answer you.
Anybody else have an issue that they're not confident? Anybody else have an issue that they're not confident to get up there and speak about that? We would speak to it. Oh, right on. I rest my.
No, it doesn't, I'm sorry, ma'am, it doesn't work like that. It's his time, he's the only one that can, so. Yeah, no, we're not. You speak to okay. So we're going to let the attorney answer your question, okay? And then
Jackson Township is well familiar with state regulations, Pinelands regulations. We have particular zoning ordinances that dictate what has to be done on any land use application. Oftentimes that includes an environmental impact report. All of those items are reviewed by the planning board when they review an application. If an application has not yet been submitted, there's no documents that the township has. If an application is submitted and is before a particular board, whether it be the planning board or the zoning board, the entire file of that application is available for public review anytime once that application is filed. Once it is filed, the planning board schedules public hearings, and during those hearings, anyone from the public has an opportunity to question any of the reports, any of the witnesses, any of the documents that are in those reports. And yes, the township follows the law. Permits are required for certain work, and planning board approvals grant certain approvals for clearing of trees and clearing of land. That's permitted by ordinance and required by law, quite frankly. And in this state, people have private property rights. They have a right to develop their property in accordance with the law and the regulations that are in place. Jackson has numerous regulations in place with respect to tree clearing, with respect to tree replacement, with respect to environmental impact reports, with respect to stormwater management. All of those are factored in any application before the planning board. The entire file, anything before the planning board is a public record and is available for public inspection. So if you submit an Oprah request for a particular property that
like
has
the waste
an app-
management facility that you
has
guys
an
just
app-
approved?
I'm sorry?
Like the waste management facility that you guys just approved that were from the last meeting? We have a waste management facility. We're modifying our water management facility, something of that nature. I would be able to find the survey for that. What you're saying, respectfully, is any project that was approved for building, any resident would be able to find the ecological impact report for that.
Well, you keep saying there are numerous records. Sometimes it's an environmental impact statement. Sometimes it's a Pinelands Commission letter of review. Sometimes it's a DEP requirement. Any of those requirements outside agency approvals
There's
are
a
all
MIRAD.
contained with any application that's before any of the boards. You talked about a water. I'm not sure what I understood. I didn't understand it last time you mentioned it, and I don't understand it now.
All forms and reports related to the environment that are legally mandated for these projects.
Are
Can we
within any
have a portal?
If an application is filed for development of a particular piece of property,
Yes, but it's like stashed in the back pocket. Can there be a, similar to that SDL portal, the SDL portal, whatever we just launched last week, can there be a tab for the environment? So say, okay, we just approved 254-2025. Here is the ecological survey that was done for this.
the entire file is documents that are dozens and dozens of pages.
That's
They're
fine.
all available for inspection. I don't know what else I can do for you on that regard.
with personal request, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But that should just,
it's
Well,
not
it's
set up.
impossible. It would be
I think I get
impossible.
what you're saying. I get what you're saying. We are working on it. We have a new BA that understands SDL. We have a department heads that are not following. They're not to date on the SDL. I am with you. That is on the plan to move forward, to have anything that you're looking, instead of boggling the clerks down with Oprahs, to have it all ready at your, yes. But just to say, I'm not trying to pass the buck to another board. I'm not on the planning board. I'm not on the zoning board. I'm on the council, but we are here to take your concerns. And now what we'll do, we'll take it to the business administrator and I'll say, listen, what the gentleman was saying was correct. Let's work on the environmental commission is not we don't appoint on there. We have nothing to do with that. But I hear you, but we have to go because we have other people that want to talk. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nadine Schaefer. I live on Farmingdale Road. And being that you were talking about the budget before, I'd like to know if, since we're closing so many of the schools in Jackson Township, why our taxes keep going up. Every year when I look at my taxes, most of the taxes are going towards schools. Now you've got thousands of people moving into Jackson Township. And if everybody is paying taxes, why is there not more money to be spread around to help things out? And why do the taxes keep increasing?
Our budget is the local budget. So the school budget is not. Do you want to just answer that so I don't say it wrong?
We collect the school taxes, but we have no control over their budget.
Budget, yeah.
So the Board of Education
But
is,
if schools are closing, okay, and our taxes go to pay for the schools, why are our taxes going up instead
that
of
would be an
decreasing?
appropriate question to ask the Board of
Board of Ed.
Education, and there are a number of issues and answers to that question. But you would need to discuss that with them. It's their budget. They approve it. They're the ones who address those facts. We don't. All we do is collect the taxes and have to give them their money. But we don't control that whatsoever. It's completely controlled by the Board of Education. And there are a number of answers to that question. It's a very good question, not only in this town and a lot of others in Ocean County. Many of it has to do with state funding. But in any event, they would be the ones who would have to answer that question for you.
Okay, and the other one is basically everybody, like if I put my house up for sale and Zillow says my house is worth $700,000. So my taxes are then on how much my house is assessed for, right?
Not from Zillow, no.
No, I'm just saying. So say Jackson Township. So you're going to sell your house here, blah, blah, blah. You would say how much the house is worth. This is why you had the inspectors, the guys come out last year or the year before. They looked inside the house, blah, blah, blah. And your taxes are according to that, right?
According to
Is
the
there any way
assessment.
that they can make everybody's taxes, who they're paying in Jackson Township, like what your address is, what your house is worth, what you're paying in taxes actually? Because I don't think everybody here is paying the right amount of money. I think certain people are not paying as much taxes as they should be, and things are being done illegally, basically, and the rest of us are getting our taxes increased because I see people all over Facebook already starting to say they're paying an extra $2,000 a year in taxes. Why are my taxes going up so much? And other people's are like, well, mine are going down, or mine went up $3,000 or $4,000. I mean, how does this happen? Is your house assessed, your taxes on the assessment of your house?
It
It just
is,
seems to me that there's houses that are having things built on them and where they're calling them religious homes and this, that, and everything else. And are their taxes going up also, or no? Because it's now called a religious facility.
I'm going to, Greg.
Certainly, yes, your
Mr. McGuffey.
property taxes are based on your tax assessment for your property. And the tax assessment, the reevaluation was just completed. If property had not been sold for a period of 10 years or so since the last revow, their taxes, their property values are increasing dramatically because theoretically they were underpaying their taxes because their property values were listed low. That was the purpose of the revow, was to bring all the property values into what they are currently fair market value. New properties, new construction, or houses that are sold are provided to the tax assessor every year. The tax assessor makes those changes on those properties as they're sold. So houses that have had their property has been sold in the last few years or new construction, that's already factored in, and their taxes, quite frankly, will likely stay the same or go down slightly so that everyone's on an even keel. So if a house had not been reassessed for 10 years, it was probably valued at $400,000. It's probably worth $650,000 now.
So you're talking about houses that haven't been lived in or haven't been sold in 10 years. So if I've been in my house.
I'm talking
for
about
30
both. I'm talking about both. So some properties, their taxes are going up. Some, their property taxes are going down. Some are staying the same. It's the same in every revow. Properties that have not been sold often or not been sold recently, they're going to see an increase in taxes because they were assessed at a lower value. Now they're being brought up to their fair market value, and they will see an increase in their taxes. So if that's the way the revow works. So everyone pays the same based on their current value. Other properties, if they were more recently sold and they're sold for $750,000, they're paying that $750,000, and respectfully, they were subsidizing your taxes. Now, I'm not saying you personally, But if someone had a $700,000 house, but it was assessed at 400, they've been underpaying their taxes as opposed to the current property values. I know that sounds a little bit complicated and it sounds a little disingenuous, but that is the fact, that newer sales have higher taxes, older properties that have not sold had lower taxes, and the purpose of the reval is to bring them all even.
Ma'am, we can't do that. That's okay. We can't do that. Thank you, ma'am.
Chris Pollock, Jackson, New Jersey. You guys have been taking shots at me online and in these meetings. You won't say my name out loud, though. You won't show what I actually said, probably because you're afraid people will go searching for the truth. Now I'm seeing pieces of legislation I've been talking about the legal rentals showing up on your agenda now. And now that's a win for everybody, all right? But let's talk about what actually happened so far. You cut the penalty for landlords. You went on public record attacking your own code enforcement department. You slashed their funding. You tried shifting blame elsewhere, and you said there's nothing you could do. And then there's already rules on the book about this. Time goes by, people start getting upset about it. I start speaking up, and boom, you pivot. Not because you care, but because you're afraid. You're afraid of losing your seats. You're afraid of losing your power. You know, you guys, you mock me publicly, and then you pass the things I talk about. If you really cared about these illegal rentals, you would have done your due diligence like you always talk about. So let's talk about it. The problem isn't just bad landlords, it's weak law. Or more accurate, it's missing law. Jackson defines a single-family dwelling, but it doesn't legally define what a family is. So you end up with 8, 10, or more unrelated adults crammed into one house. All right? It creates unsafe housing conditions, it's a blight on the community, and it's an issue on block to block. You talk to the residents like I do, you know this is a serious issue, and it needs to be handled fully. All right? Now, this isn't just a loophole. This is a failure to legislate. Other towns have fixed this, and here's clear legal precedents to do it. The Village of Belle Terre versus Boris was in the Supreme Court. It upheld the zoning law limiting single-family homes to 2 or fewer unrelated individuals. Moore versus East Cleveland. The court upheld zoning based on blood or legal relationships. Dozens of municipalities across the country have adapted enforceable definitions of family, and they won in court when challenged. So let's stop pretending we can't do anything. Here's what you need to do now, all right? You need to legally define family in the zoning code, workable and constitutional. One more person related by blood, marriage, adoption, or legal guardianship, or no more than 2 unrelated individuals living in a single housekeeping unit. Use that definition to enforce occupancy limits. This isn't about banning rentals. It's about stopping overcrowded, unsafe housing. You need to stop cutting and stop attacking code enforcement. You need to be working together with them to fix the problems. Give them the laws and resources they need instead of blaming them when their hands are tied. And there's one more thing we need to talk about that's really important. Our single-family homes, which are the backbone of this town, are being bought up by out-of-town corporate investors. They're swooping in with cash offers. They're outbidding families who actually want to live here. And it's not just a housing issue, it's actually a community crisis. The next generation is being priced out of home ownership. The American dream is being stolen right here in Jackson. And while all this happens, we got a council president profiting from real estate while refusing to take real action to protect our neighborhoods. That's not leadership, that's a conflict of interest. There's a lot of conflicts of interest with this council. You don't fix this with photo ops or public spin. You fix it with law backed by precedent and the guts to act before it's politically safe. So keep taking shots at me, but next time say my name out loud, Chris Pollock. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not afraid of any of you, and I'm not done. There's so much more to do. There's so many more problems to fix, and I'm going to keep pushing you to take action and do the right thing for the people of this town.
Are you going to say?
Are you going to stay for the rest of the meeting?
Wow.
He comes in, he speaks and leaves.
What a superhero.
Yeah.
My name is Carlos Martins. I live in Jackson. For anybody that's ever been in the military,
Can an officer just go out, just the two of them, just one of them, just go out there and make sure everything's good? Thank you.
will be familiar with the term stolen valor. So we had somebody come up here saying, because he started talking about it, you're now passing what we've been talking about for, I know since I've been here, over a year. And you've put this on the agenda, and now we're actually getting it done. And someone comes up here and says, oh, it's because I started talking about it? We all know the right word for that, and it starts with a B and ends with an S. Well, no, not necessarily that.
No,
but you know what I mean. BS.
Starts with a B.
Okay, actually, I thought we were still talking about the budget, so I wanted to come up here.
You have anything for the
Say
next
something.
4
This is
minutes?
gen-
This is your time.
This is general comment.
This is general comment.
This is general, yeah, okay. About the budget. So, I'm not happy that it took this long and we're overdue with the budget, okay? I don't think anybody would be, right? We want to meet deadlines. But I do appreciate the, what I would say, you using your power of the purse and analyzing the budget and going through it and making sure that it's doing the right thing, that you approve it, right? At the end of the day, the budget that comes from the mayor is just a bunch of piece of paper, just a pile of paper. Until you approve it, until you put in the lines that you want, you have the power of the purse, not the mayor. And you should use it and not be afraid to use it. And I'm happy to see that that's what you're doing. Unfortunately, it took a long time. That's not good. Maybe we'll get better next time. But I do want to put that out there, that I do appreciate that work that you're doing on the budget. And I would label it under the Doge umbrella, where we found $1.4 million. Thank you, Mr. Bernstein, for that hard work. So that's all I have to say.
That was a collective effort. The whole council really
Everybody.
worked on that.
Yeah, and I do appreciate everybody working on that. And
Thank you, sir.
Our new business administrator. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Give me a second, catch my breath from chasing him. Donnie Edelman, Willow Point Drive, Jackson. I'd like to say, offer my condolences to the guy who died at the archery range and for all the kids, people, and everyone else that got hit by the lightning. And also, I'd like to say rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne, who died this afternoon.
That was crazy. It went through my whole
Especially after
office.
seeing him 2 weeks ago in concert.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get to the bad stuff. Many of you know I have certain problems in my house: mice, handicap parking, toilets, so forth like that. Everybody in here that comes to the
Donnie, you can-
meetings, no, I understand. Everyone here that comes to the meetings knows that Cheney has done as far as possible to, well, I don't want to say bully, but maybe harass, discriminate, whatever it might be. I was working with Mr. Wall. He unceremoniously left the town, and I gave Mr. Phillips a few weeks to get into the position, and had what I thought was a nice productive meeting last week, expressing my problems, because as it's been stressed several times recently, you guys make the laws. It's up to the administrative arm to enforce it, or if it's a criminal thing, police department. Well, had a nice productive meeting. I thought things were going okay for the most part. This is the police department. It barely got touched on, but that was a negative right then and there. Says he didn't get back to me. I sent him an email saying thank you for meeting me. Today I get woken up by the guy. Comes over unannounced. Mr. Phillips and Mr. Cheney. Anybody with a pulse should understand bringing Andrew Cheney to my house is nothing short of outright provocative and instigational. Within, I don't know, about a minute of us having our conversation, Mr. Phillips basically did the one thing I knew for a fact he was going to do. He was going to sit there and tell me that everything that my property manager says is gospel and true. Including today, he told me that my property, Willow Point at Vista Center, doesn't have handicap accessible apartments. I'm sure you got the email where I showed it to you. The State Housing Resource Center says it's got handicap accessible apartments. Google any of the websites as far as rentals, handicap accessible apartments. But you took the word of somebody who has a vested interest into my problems. And then after basically telling you to go pack salt in a not very nice way, you manufacture a crime with Andrew Cheney telling the Jackson Police Department I said I was going to kill him and his family. No, you stupid idiot. I went down there and I said, I'm going to come to your house. I'm going to embarrass you and your family. All right. See, that camera right there is more dangerous to you than those 3 guns over there on their belt. You're afraid of it. That's why when I sit there and I asked you about Candido, my problems, you sat there and you had the nerve to tell me, rather than sit there and make sure that the police weren't breaking the law.
Donnie just addressed me, remember?
And my civil rights were protected. You tell me that I'm looking for problems. I'm sorry, I didn't know freedom to redress my government and freedom of the press is looking for problems. But I would question a board that allows this man to continue with his position who, well, if he's not smart enough to know not to bring Andrew Cheney to my house, that's a problem. If he's not smart enough to sit there and say, hey, let me not just take the lady who's been there for 6 months. Let's not take her word for it. Maybe there's a reason why he's so upset. Maybe there's a reason why he's been trying to deal with this since 2023. And then on top of it, I finally got Cheney to admit that Animal Control Officer Ionio did in fact call me a disabled loser. He does nothing. All right. Cheney tells him, oh no, the reason why it happened is because I interjected myself into a situation that I was not part of, which is an outright lie. Now, you were not here, but see, rather than ask a question, say, hey, what happened? What's going on? You just automatically assume that's the way it is and I'm wrong. It's the same reason why I had a problem with the construction department who couldn't fathom that the plumbing subcode official came out to my house on a Saturday and called me a liar and refused to talk to me because of it. I still have mice in my apartment. He did nothing about that. I still have an outstanding balance. What's being done about that? No, you bring the goddamn problem child to my house and you sit there and you manufacture a crime having me arrested. Shame on you.
Thank you, Donnie. Come on up, sir. Thank you.
My name is Joe DeProsmo. I live on East Pleasant Grove Road. So I've been in Jackson for about 7 years. I worked in local government for 25 years in Middlesex County in law enforcement. And I came out here for, the wildlife and the open space and the trees and all that kind of good stuff. And I actually wasn't going to say anything tonight. I just wanted to observe. But I heard some things that were a little concerning, and I want to be as much as a gentleman as I can address these things. So last year, this is all public record. Everything I did was under the color of the law and proper documentation and such. I still have the paperwork. If anybody wants to see me afterwards, I wouldn't mind sending it to you if anybody cares. But I testified last year with about 4 of my neighbors about a wealthy man who moved to Florida, and he was looking for 3 variances on an entirely treed lot. We actually were out there and we counted the trees. It was close to 1,000 trees, and he couldn't build a home on it. And he wanted it close. And again, this is all public record. I can show you the emails, the layouts. Actually, I watched it on video afterwards. So it was right in this room. And basically, he got a firm. He paid a lot of money, got an attorney, got an engineer, got a PR person. They all came up here. We fought them for 5 zoning board meetings. And didn't look good for them because one of the people on the zoning board said, it's not looking good. You better really do your homework on this, right? So magically at the 5th meeting, after about 10 minutes, again, it's on video, the whole zoning board people went to a private session, came out, and they voted in favor of this 3 variances on a little tiny lot that was all trees. We, as the
concerned residents were trying to fight it. We all got emails, and the zoning board got together with the firm, and they put out a statement. It was several pages. And on one, this is why I'm bringing this up, is because on one of the pages it talked about, because we talked about counting trees, we took pictures, we did our homework. We contacted the DEP. No impact statement was done. There were fox, there were owls, there were all kinds of stuff on the property. And you're welcome. We have a lot of people who love the environment here. And in this collusion between the zoning board and this firm, and again, I can show you it I could forward to all this stuff to you, is that the 200 trees, roughly 150 to 200 trees that were going to be cut down, the zoning board suggested that no permits were needed, we'll just waive that. So if I got a dead tree on my property, listen, I've law enforcement 25 years, I put a fence on my property, I do what I'm supposed to do as a law-abiding citizen. But because this guy spends a lot of money, and it's big money, he gets all the variances, no impact statement, and he gets a waiver on all the trees he gets to cut down. You know, I talked to them about, I called listen, I was worked in government. I know who to talk to when there's a problem. Went to the county about the septic and well. They were going to put a 4,800, it's all in the record, 4,800 square foot home, giant, it's so big that they actually had to put, because it wasn't enough frontage, that the house had to be turned sideways. It was ridiculous. It's a monstrosity. It hasn't been built yet, but the approvals were given. So when I hear, again, I did not want to get up here today, but when I hear, oh, you know, impact statement, oh, you know, do an impact on the trees and the permits. Well, according to the paperwork, it's waived. So if anybody wants to let me know, if they want me to forward that paperwork, I think the issue is, I got a few seconds left. I think the issue is in this town is, the feeling is, whether it's a zoning board issue or an issue here, the angst that people are feeling in Jackson is that if someone has enough money, if a firm or a group has enough money, they'll get whatever the hell they want here. You know? So, you know, I'm trying to be as gentlemanly as possible, but, and again, it's very frustrating. Like I said, if anybody wants to contact me, send me an email. I'll forward you all the paperwork. Maybe you know what the zoning board is doing. Maybe you don't know. I'll give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And that's all I have to say.
When
Thank
was
you.
this approved?
Was that?
You said 7 years ago, right?
7 years ago it was approved?
No, I moved in 7 years
You
ago.
moved in
Last-
7
years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago.
Last year was when they tried to put this, and they did. They got the approval for it. So I have the paperwork
Thank
from
you.
last year that I could
That-
forward if anybody wants to see it.
Thank you. And I just would like to add, that was the former attorney. The zoning board has switched around since then, and they did go and switch their attorney.
You know what? I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe with the new attorney, maybe things will be different. But that attorney, his name was on there.
Yes.
And he colluded with that firm.
I don't want to say, I don't want to
Okay,
get,
I'll
just
leave it
because
alone.
I'm legal, I just don't.
Yep. Just
Thank
thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
Council President, if I could just add, we've also, in the last few months, we've appointed additional newer zoning
Yeah.
appointees.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't yell from the back. You had your time to speak. It's not an open forum in that we have to, thank you. No worries. Thank you.
Seeing, oh,
Yelsa Rednick. I live at 22 Birmingham Drive. I'm having a lot of concerns lately in my neighborhood with e-bicycles, e-scooters, no helmets, cutting cars off. I'm fearful for the children as well as all drivers. On Brewers Bridge one night, I was coming home. This was just a week ago. It was night, headlights on, headlights coming at me from a car, and headlights coming at me from a motorized something. And that was the first time that I actually was a little afraid, because I never had two at the same time coming at me. So I don't know if there's any rules in place.
We did
Anything
pass
that's
an
being done?
ordinance. We passed an ordinance. The problem is that there's not enough manpower of the police department to enforce it.
So Okay.
And we don't have our PBA president or director here, and we do have officers here, but it wouldn't be right to ask them. We put a lot of time, we put a lot of time with traffic safety, with the Traffic Safety Bureau to go over it with the attorney. Greg is here and we went over it. Go ahead.
Could I just add,
It is a problem.
um,
Wait, it's a huge problem. I've pulled kids aside at minute stop when I went to go pick up, and I sit there and I'm like, thank God at least one of the three have a helmet on. I'm like, don't go on the roads that you're going on. Believe me, I've
There
sat
was
with
a
them.
girl that cut
It's-
me off.
I know.
And went
They go through my
right in
parking lot.
front of
I
me.
know. I
And
know.
and I was like, wow. I mean, I drive a Ford Explorer. I'm not going to cut off an 18-wheeler. And no helmet.
We have them.
Nothing.
I know.
So-
It's a problem, and we
So-
have them in the park in Brookwood Fort, and there's kids that are going and they're destroying brand new parks. They're driving through neighborhoods. They're driving through. It's a huge problem. I'm sorry, Council.
So
I just wanted to
I just
finish
wanted
that with
to
her.
add to that also is that the way it works when complaints come in, we obviously will take, after tonight, we'll reach out to the BA and to the PD. They will come down. Unfortunately, they don't have the manpower to be there all the time, and it's really education. Sometimes tickets, I don't
Well,
remember.
they don't really have to be there all the time.
They could just
sit
pull
there
them
at the
over.
park
Yeah.
And just kind of wait, and you'll see it all happen. And then as it happens, maybe the officer can just have a little chat with them.
I agree.
absolutely.
It's all the main roads.
It's
I
all
saw him on
education.
County Line Road. I
Have a
know.
little chat at the park.
I
It'll
agree.
be
Listen, I agree.
3:00 on a Thursday and just talk to the kids.
2:15 in my parking lot every day in Romeo's Plaza. The girl goes beelines right through it.
I
Every
am
day.
very afraid, and I don't want something bad to happen for something to then have to happen.
I just try to pull the kids that are, because they go on Jackson Mills Road and they go into the sports complex and stuff like that, and they're going to, Holbrook and going to play baseball, and I'm like, please just at least put a helmet on.
Well, exactly. I don't know why. Right, because on a bicycle,
Yeah.
helmet.
They're the
On something
e-bikes.
motorized,
they have no helmets on
helmet.
it. I know. I don't.
And you're right. There was 3 boys on a bicycle.
They are, yep.
The other day, and one had a helmet on.
Yep,
And he
yep.
cut in front of me and cut me off.
I know.
And then when I went past them, he came behind me. And I'm thinking.
They did
what
promise
is
me they
this?
were going to wear helmets, because I guess their parents must watch the YouTube of council meetings.
Wow.
And they said, and I said, please just wear a helmet. I said, listen, and I just said, you are breaking the law. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to have these e-bikes anymore. We made a law to pass it for the safety. And they didn't really understand what I meant, but I just said, please just wear a helmet. I said, it's not so much you riding a bike, it's other cars and coming out and
And there's
pulling
more
out.
and more of them happening because
I
I'm
know.
seeing more and more on the roads.
I
And
know.
that's why I'm getting
I
more
know.
afraid
I
to
disagree.
drive.
I mean, council,
We-
does anybody have
Council
anything?
If I can.
Please.
So we do have a strong ordinance we can enforce for this, but we don't have enough police for every block of Jackson. However, it's also up to the guardian and parents. My son, he's going to be a teenager. He asked his mother and I just recently, hey, Dad, he showed me a picture. Can I have this e-bike? And we said, absolutely not. It's dangerous. So we're not buying him an e-bike. Parents need to also do their part in educating their children on, if they're going to provide them this e-bike, know the law, follow the law. It's becoming an adult. If they want to have these responsibilities, we can have police officers patrolling, but again, we don't have enough to patrol every block of this 100 square mile town. We have ordinances in place. Government can do our part, but the home has to do their part too.
Well, I agree with that. I agree with the parenting, absolutely. I don't know if everybody knows. That's
No.
the other thing.
We'll have to put it out there.
the
We'll put it
unknown
out.
that-
We'll put it out on the council page, and
But
you know
the
those
helmets,
e-bikes
who
are
has to tell you what
$4,000.
Wear a helmet. I mean, I don't even let my kid ride a bike
I
without
know.
a helmet.
I know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now you're on something that's motorized and you're not wearing a helmet and you're cutting cars off. So I just don't want anything bad to happen.
I know.
And I'm afraid that
I
I don't
know.
want to cause anything.
I see it on South New Prospect all the time when I'm going to the gym. I'm like, well, I haven't gone to the gym in a month, but
Right.
last month they were there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hi, how are you?
Good. Donna Cadell, 534 Gex Lane. I wasn't going to say this, but I do have one concern when you were just mentioning about the e-bikes and we don't have enough manpower as far as police. Is there money in the budget with all the new people moving into town? Are they allocating more money for more of our police force?
Yeah, we've been hiring. Oh yeah, it's just a matter of they got to go through the academy, they got to get trained, but
So-
yes, I'd like to get like
Good to know, though.
class 2s to do it,
Good.
so that way they're,
Good.
but yes.
I don't mind money being spent on police. So I don't know if this is a question for this board, but who decides zoning, how zoning gets changed, how people's property gets zoned and when it gets changed?
Not this board.
Okay.
That would be,
Well, eventually.
Yeah, you got this on.
yeah, but that's not now.
So the township is currently reviewing its master plan. That master plan will make suggestions as to how zoning should take place across the township, recommend certain rezoning, recommend those type of things, density and so forth.
Right.
That master plan is being finished now. Once that's done, it's done about every 10 years. The township takes a look at that to see if there's changes that should be made to the zoning ordinances as to how many homes can be built in a particular area, how big the lots are, that kind of thing.
Right. And as a resident, do I have any say in that? Because when I'm understanding
Yeah.
about my own property, that it may become FA6, which I believe will take a lot of value away from my already PV, which I did build my house under that ordinance or that Pinelands Village. I met all of the requirements. I have over the amount of land that I need, but I will not have the amount of land to rebuild my own house on my piece of property right now if I were to move forward. I also believe that the FA6 is a lot more restrictive than PV, which then I believe takes value off the table for my property when I go to sell it. So how do I overcome something like that?
Well, zoning is never going to be based on a particular lot. I mean, as much as that affects you, and we certainly understand that.
Right.
But zoning is never just one lot. It has to be zoned in accordance with the master plan and the recommendations for the area. As far as your particular lot, oftentimes, and I know that Jackson has done this previously, they grandfather in existing properties if the zoning changes. So if the zoning area changes and you had it, and the zoning requirements are different, the township often adopts an ordinance
Overlay.
allowing that same type of property to be rebuilt in the future without a problem. And they've done that a number of times.
So I may be able to do that if I feel
Correct.
like my value has been lowered.
If the zoning changes and you wish to have that, you can make that request. And council has done that in the past in certain areas.
It's called an overlay. To remember that word, overlay.
Overlay.
Okay.
And that would come in front of us?
Well, to make
I
the
didn't
change
know
in
that.
the zoning.
I've never been
Yeah.
through a master plan before, so I honestly
No,
don't know.
and it's changed over the years.
And the last
but
time it
it's
was done
always
was in
been PV.
2008.
It's always been PV.
Yeah, 2008 with the revow, they did the same thing. Jackson did the same thing in 2008. They did the revow and the master plan at the same time.
So my other concern is, at the top of my road, a lot of trees were cleared, a lot of trees. I don't know, I've never investigated it, if they ever got any tree permits, but giant piles were left, like a bonfire-sized pile of trees were left on that property. It's becoming very overgrown. I pass it every day, and it just bothers me that it was left like that. And now it's just getting overgrown. I think it.
If you want to email me, that's an ordinance, they would have to keep it. It can't be overgrown. Yeah,
The
so
person who bought it took it like that, so I don't know.
they still have to
So,
maintain it. They took the problem. That was,
They
they
still-
inherited
They
the
have to do
problem.
it.
So send me don't
Yeah.
send it to my,
Yeah,
my
yeah, no,
township
I'll send
email.
it to the township.
And then I'll forward it to code enforcement and have them go and look at it. But yeah, even if it's overgrown, they
It
inherited
looks
the problem.
terrible.
Yeah, no,
And I've been to these meetings before about my road gets lane. When I built my house in 1987, I had to improve that road. I spent a lot of money. I had to get it engineered. I put in, took out giant oak trees.
Mhm.
It's never been graded to the 20 feet I had to make it. It's actually not even where it belongs. We're driving on somebody else's property every single day. The roads should be way over and straight. It's a big curve. And now that property that I'm talking about that's overgrown is impeding onto the road. We're back to a very narrow one-lane road that's in horrible condition. They did come grade it today because I call the DEP all the time about, maintaining the road. I was told in 1987 that we were on the list to be paved. So I don't know how long that list is, but we haven't been paved yet. When
I was on Challenger Way and we got paid before you. My dad, I remember,
All right,
built the
well,
road.
where's my time?
Thank
But-
you. No,
But anyway, I don't know if that's still a thing, but the road is in really, really bad shape.
okay.
I mean, the potholes, they graded it today and I bet by tomorrow, because it goes downhill.
Yeah, and especially with all the rain.
Especially with all the rain and the amount of people that live on the road now. I mean, there's only 6 houses, but there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of Amazon. So.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Seeing no one else come forward and make a motion to close public comment.
Motion. Aye.
Motion closed.
Motion to close?
Second.
Aye.
Close.